Dave, just starts with Tyler Anderson. This will be his final regular season start. Anything you kind of want to see from him today, or on the flip side, you want to reflect on this season with him? Anything that's stood out to you most?
Reflection, he's been fantastic. He's had a tremendous season. It's been fun to get to know him and how he operates, what makes him tick. But as far as on-field performance, I can't give him enough praise. Performance, posting, taking down innings, competing, helping other guys, and he's still continuing to grow, and that's been great. Last start, it's going to be a full start for him. We just want him to go out there and help us win a ball game and go as long as you can. But today it's going to be kind of like the Tyler Anderson, Andre Jackson show. So to hopefully give our guys in the pen a little break today.
How much do you believe in what he has done in the regular season can translate to whatever you see in the postseason?
I absolutely believe it can. The postseason, I think that one slant is as far as pitching, people kind of look towards strikeouts and stuff, but I just don't think that stuff is created equal, and I think that the radar gun is easy to quantify, but command, being able to sequence, he's got an 80 changeup, and most importantly, he's a guy I trust, and I think the postseason is about putting guys in position to have success, but also going with guys that you believe in and trust.
Dave, you've talked about in years past when you guys had the same core of guys, bringing in Utley, Freeze, different guys to kind of move the deck chairs, in your own words. You guys have brought in a lot of different veterans in the last year or so. Do you feel like that's made it easier to push the rock back up the hill again this year to do what you've done?
I think part of that, bringing in the right guys that, you mentioned Tyler Anderson, Yency Almonte, guys that haven't had a chance to play in the postseason, and they've got that hunger. I think that's something that's part of it, but it takes a special character of guys to get to the 1 yard line and go right back down the mountain and to do it again. And we have that with our guys. So it's not just the veteran guys, it's the whole collection, the whole group.
Why do you think they've been able to do this, to be able to push the rock back up higher than they ever have before?
I think there's a relentlessness to it. There's something, again, it's some of it's innate. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, some of it is learned by some guys, but I think just as a group, it's a very focused group, and it's a testament to these guys and the coaches to show up every single day to kind of trying to realize a certain standard or bar that we've created here.
David, is this the best team you've ever been around? Been a part of?
It's the best team we've had, yeah. 1 through 26, it'll be the best team that we've had, yes.
Now, you're not talking this every year we go through this, but I'll mention it again.
I know you will.
Are the fans? Is it fair to the fans? Are they experiencing enough joy at this, or do you think there's too much wait to see what happens to the World Series?
I can't speak for all the fans. I know there's certain narratives out there. Fans are fans for a reason. They've never put on a big league uniform. We want to win a championship just as much as they do, if not more. Our jobs depend on it. We're in the grind every single day from February 15th, every single day. So there are fans, some subset, that feel that they don't get interested until the postseason, and the season is defined by that. That's their prerogative. There's another subset of fans that can appreciate what goes into winning, having the season we're having, and understanding that there's a lot of things that happen that play out in a postseason that are unpredictable. And that's the ride of the ups and downs, the unpredictability of baseball that makes it so great. And there's that subset that's in it with us and really appreciate that this is a great team. and they're prepared to handle any result. So, it's a fine line for me in my chair to kind of talk about that first subset, because they take it as we're leaving a side door, an excuse. Not about that. We already expect to win the World Series. That's our only focus. So that's just kind of my take on
But
it.
you wish there were more, like I saw in Seattle. You look at how happy they are in Seattle to make the playoffs. You don't really see that joy here in the stands yet. Do you wish we'd have more of that in this city?
I think that, yeah, I do. Unfortunately, the world has gone very cynical, which is sad. Having a great season, enjoying the ride, is our certain fans, not all, are certain fans jaded? Absolutely. And don't realize what it takes, what this team in particular has had to overcome to get to this point. Not a rite of passage to be in this position. And no one in that clubhouse feels that way. The sense of gratitude and joy is at many times lost in our society. And certainly in sports, it's at the forefront. But Bill, people are going to have their thoughts. In a perfect world, the world's not perfect. I wish they certainly would enjoy the ride and know and appreciate what we do, regardless of ultimately if we're the last team standing, which that's just the case in sports.
To a degree, you spoiled them, wouldn't you say, in a way, the fans here?
Our job, from Mark to Andrew to myself to the players, is to put our best foot forward, because fans deserve that. They pay good money. They take their time to watch on TV, to pay good money to come see us, to perform at a high level, the highest level. And my job is to get the most, and the coaches to get the most out of the players. And so if certain fans see that as spoiled and not grateful that the team that they love and support take it personal to show their best every single year for them, then that's their prerogative.
Several of these teams that have as many wins as you guys have at this point, that have historically done that, have had shorter postseason runs than you guys would have to go through, just considering just the structure, having to do it with the DS, CS, although the Yankees did. But like, how much does that sort of play into it? Just the fact that they didn't have to
It has, Fabian, it has no bearing. The teams that have won this many games, it's such a small sample. So when you're pulling from 10 teams, a dozen teams in all of history, that's an unfair take. I can't go back and pick what the Mariners did in 2001. I know they beat my Cleveland Indians team in the DS, and I don't know who they lost to. They lost to the Yankees. So again, that has no kind of bearing on our club. Our club could care less about the other teams that have won games. We're focused on this year, and we're focused on ourselves.
I'm saying more just like historically how they're judged, because like they've had a shorter path to the World Series. More like the odds of them winning World Series are just mathematically higher.
Yeah,
that's more. What
I think that and that's an honest, fair take. But I think to Bill's question, fans don't want to hear that. Media doesn't want to hear that. They don't care if you had to go 4 rounds or 5 rounds to get to the World Series. If the Dodgers don't win the season, there's a subset that's going to feel that we choked. We aren't a good team. It was a lost season. It doesn't matter. That factual narrative isn't going to change with some people. But again, that's just noise for our guys, and we can't change that. We can't change the structure. The structure is different than it was in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. This is where we're at right now, and we have to abide and play, and our guys aren't about to make excuses. We have to win 3 series, and that's what we expect to do.
I feel like you're getting some more clarity this past week or so on your bullpen as it's been.
You know what? I think the clarity is guys are getting healthy. Blake got off the mound today. He's going to throw a full bullpen tomorrow. Andrew did an exercise in the pen, and he's going to do that again on Tuesday. Guys are understanding their roles, and I say that as in there are no roles. Your role is to pitch when the phone rings and go as long as you can. And so with that, absolute clarity. So we're kind of right where we need to be right now.
Speaking of health, how are May and Chris Taylor?
Dustin threw a really good pen just right now. It was 32, 34 pitches, really good intensity, execution really good. CT, not great. After his batting practice, something with his neck, and for Chris to not say he can play is certainly telling. He's obviously not in there tonight or today. He's a day-by-day situation.
How similar is it to the neck issue we had last year in September?
You know what? That's a fair question. I didn't ask that question. I don't know.
And Joe, back to the bullpen, you kind of mentioned that you've sort of seen the numbers that Craig has had against righties are a lot better against lefties. And as you mentioned, some of the strengths of this bullpen is how neutral they are. How much is that a complicating factor? His most effective weapon is just as a platoon option.
Craig just got to be better. I can put him in the optimal positions. To his credit, he's been open to pitching in a different role, but you just can't walk guys, and you gotta get him out, and and he knows that. So we're gonna have some decisions to make, but certainly guys that show that they can get left and right out, that are platoon neutral. As you look out into the postseason where lineups are staggered, there's pinch hitting more so than there is in the regular season. That's certainly a factor.
Dave, you've seen Marquez a lot over the years, and he actually has some statistical success against you guys in particular. When you think of Marquez over there with the Rockies, what do you think about him as a starting pitcher? What stands out to you?
I think the thing that stands out to us with Marquez is certainly durability. He's physical. The velocity. So he was a four-seam guy. Then he started throwing the two-seamer more. It's a wipeout slider. I think we always seem to get his best. You just look back a year ago, 2 years ago, I thought he was one of the better pitchers in the National League. Certainly got off to a slow start this year for whatever reason and hasn't really recovered. But, every time Marquez is on the mound, we know we have our work cut out for us.
All good, Doc. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.